Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am gonna be doing a story time. I am gonna be talking about my nosy, chismoso, toxic neighbors. I wanna start off by giving you guys a bit of a background story. So I've actually been living in these apartments since I could remember, probably since before I was even born. Well, not me, but my family. So besides that, there's a couple of people that have been living here for as long as we have. My family pretty much knows them. Like I said, we've been living here for quite a while. I'm 19 years old, so we've been living here for 19 years pretty much. It's not just my neighbors, but people that live in the apartments. It is mainly like older ladies, and also some guys. So I am going to be doing it in parts, and I don't want you guys to get confused, so I am going to be putting a slide each time I talk about a different person. So I live in a 3-story building, and it is not like inside building, it's more like outside, so like there's trees and all that pretty much. I want to start off by talking about the teenagers that live here. So my first encounter was when I was in 8th grade. I was pretty cool with these girls that lived in these apartments, but they were just much more childish compared to me, so I wouldn't hang out with them. I would hang out with other girls. One day I was showering and I randomly heard laughing at the window. Like I just hear random giggling and stuff, and it sounded so close. So I look up and I see these 2 girls just peeping down my window looking right at me as I'm showering, guys. So I'm butt-ass naked, and these girls thought it would be okay to watch me shower. So me in shock, I don't really know like how to react, so I just tell them, what are you guys doing? Like, could you guys leave me alone? And they end up giggling and just walking away, and that made me so uncomfortable, so I did end up avoiding them for a while. Finally I did confront them about it, and they were like, oh boy, it was her idea, like she's the one that wanted to do it. Like nobody wanted to admit that they were the ones that had came up with the idea pretty much, or whatever. But I was just like, okay, like regardless of who came up with the idea, like the fuck, like you guys don't do that. And then freshman year hits, I started dating this guy, and we're probably dating for like 2 weeks at the time, and I had told him if he could come over because I was always getting grounded, guys. Like I could hardly even go out. So he came over and we were chilling at the apartments like near us, because we have like 2 apartments, but one's smaller than the other. I don't know how to explain that, but so we were hanging out at the other ones, and these girls randomly come up to him, and I don't even know, like, well, he was a cheating ass, so he was probably doing who knows what, I don't know, but they knew his name somehow. They were just like, oh, la la la, like they were calling him. Like it was obvious that he was trying to like ignore them, so he just kept looking at me, and I was just like, do you know them? Like, why are they calling you and stuff? And then he was just like, oh, like I don't know why they're calling me, like I don't know them. And then one of the girls comes up to him and she's like, oh, like you're cute. And well, me, I was like, what the hell, like I'm right here, guys, like what the fuck are you guys doing? So I tell them something. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I did like tell them off pretty much, and they ended up leaving. After that, I think we only lasted like a week. We ended up breaking up. So now for the next topic, I'm gonna call this guy a pedophile, because that's pretty much what he is. So there's some guy who's been living here for as long as we have, and he actually lives upstairs. He has known me since I was a child, because my mom used to take care of his nephews when we were children, so I pretty much grew up with his nephews and his sister. He pretty much knows me and my family, and my whole childhood he was just like trying to get on my mom. Like there would be so many times where we'll be walking to the store or anywhere, and he would be right behind following us, and I would always try to run. Like I would try to pull my mom away so we could like avoid him, and he would speed walk. And then eventually he got a bicycle, so there was no way for us to avoid him. Shit was so annoying. He was always just weird, always trying to get at someone, and I was like 10 years old, so obviously he wasn't weird towards me yet. Once I got to 8th grade, he's always giving out money to everybody, so that's like nothing strange. But I noticed that he was giving lots of money to his neighbors, which is those girls that were peeping through my window. So he gives a lot of money to those girls. And I've already heard that they're like pretty nasty. Those girls are weird. So there was like these rumors going on that she like did stuff with him to get money and this and that. And honestly, like, I do believe it, because there was a time where I saw her like going like putting her shirt down, and he was there, and like it looked like he liked it. Like, it was just so weird. And this girl is a year younger than me, so she's a year younger than me. That's when I started seeing like, oh, like, what the hell, like, that guy is weird. And then I would be walking home from school or just anywhere, and he would start calling me. He'd be like, hey Julie, like, shh. Like, he, oh my god, I hate it. He always does that, because he's like a paisa, so he's always going and he's like, hey. And so I always avoid him, ignore him. Like, if you call me like that, I am not gonna turn around. I am not a dog, so do not call me like that. So yeah, so he does that. And he started like coming up to me. He's like, muchachita, and it's so weird, because he like literally looks you up and down like that, like hey muchachita. And then like when you walk away, you could just feel him looking at me. And there's been times where I've caught him staring at like my back, you know. There's been times where I've caught him staring at me while I'm walking away. To top it off, he even tried getting at my old best friend. She started taking advantage of the fact that he was giving away money. So she started going to ask him, and he started being weird. He was like, oh, well, what am I gonna get in return? She's just like, oh, well, I'll give you weed, or I'll buy you a beer, because he likes to smoke too. Like, he just tries to fit in the wave or whatever. So she told him that, and he was just like, oh, okay, like, I guess I'll take that. I noticed that he was being like really weird with her, and then he ended up admitting to her that he had a crush on her. That like he started being weird. Like, he kept calling me and saying like, oh, where's your friend and stuff like that. And I told him that she wasn't around, like that she had a boyfriend. I started telling him that she had a boyfriend, and that got him really angry, so he stopped giving money to her. And after that, he just started being so weird. Like, he started trying to flirt with everyone. Like, he would flirt with he even tried getting at my sister, guys. He tried getting at my sister. He tried getting at these girls that are barely even like 17 right now, and this was 3 years ago, so I believe they were like 15 at the time. So yeah, he's really weird, and this is still going on. He still lives here. The next person that I'm going to be talking about is la chismosa del apartamento 13. So this chismosa lady is always on my shit, not just mine but my old friends. She has these kids. Well, not even kids, they're older already. But she has some children who, let's just say, like, they're not really in a good path. One of them, he's, like, heavy into drugs. And I'm not trying to be, like, talk down on anyone that does that. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that. I'm just telling my story and what has happened. I just want to give you guys a bit of a background on her life. So, this lady has kids, and for as long as I can remember, people have always said that like they're just too much, like they're not good kids. So her oldest is currently like, he's really on drugs. Like, it's just obvious that he's like tweaked out or something. Other ones have like anger issues and stuff. Like, there's just so much going on. The thing that angers me so much is that this lady, instead of focusing on her kids, trying to better their lives, or just, you know, trying to put them in the right path, she's over here worrying about other people, paying attention to us instead of her own kids. So there was a time, I believe I was a sophomore in high school, I'm not sure, I was smoking weed, and my family didn't know I was. I was actually like keeping it a secret from them. I would always like try to be low-key about it. And my friend decided to go like smoke where like the cars would park. She was going to throw away the trash, and like the cars are like pretty much going towards like where you go to throw the trash. So she ended up seeing me, and I didn't think much of it. Like, I was trying to cover my face with my hoodie because I had a hoodie on. She obviously recognized me because I was with my friend, and it was always just me and her hanging out with each other. And she goes and tells my sister's mother-in-law, because she actually lives in these apartments as well. She lives on top of us. So she goes and tells her that she caught me smoking weed in the back. She obviously goes and tells my sister, and then my mom finds out, and I get grounded. Like, they just start going off on me, telling me that why am I doing this, like I already know it's bad and this and that. and I do end up getting grounded. I think I was probably grounded for almost a year. I'm not even exaggerating. They grounded me for almost a year. I was only able to go to school, and then after school I would have to come right back home. And there were some rare occasions where I was able to go out, but I wasn't really able to go out as much. There was a day where my ear was hurting really bad, so my mom told me to go and get some newspaper from the front. So this lady, like from where she lives, she is able to see my apartment and the hallway to exit the apartments. She sees me, and I believe it was like 11 at night, so I'm pretty sure she thought I was doing something sketchy. But she sees me and she makes eye contact with me, and I start walking to the hallway to well, not to exit, but like to get the newspapers. And I see her like holding onto the rail and going like this, like trying to see what I'm doing. And I look at her and I'm like, can I help you? And instead of like her responding, she just walks away. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, she's weird. I'm gonna tell my mom, and my mom's like, oh, just ignore her. Like, she's probably like doing that because of her like seeing you smoking weed. And that was just like so like that doesn't give her the right. But she just told me to ignore it, so I did. And after that happened, I don't know if she like felt entitled to being able to like watch me or something, because no matter where I went with my friends, she was always watching us. And like she would be hanging out with some other Shusmozas, and they'll just be like looking at us and stuff, and as soon as we'll look at them, they'll like roll their eyes. Like, they're so weird. But yeah, so she started doing that. So nothing happened until this year when I was washing. So we do have like some washers at my apartments, and nobody really washes as much besides her and her friends and like a couple of other people. So we're not allowed to have washers, so those ladies mainly go and wash there because a lot of them don't have a car. So everyone was told that we're not allowed to have washers, and my family still kept their washer. So I would only go to dry my clothes, and my clothes was already washed, and they would be washing, and when I was walking in, they'll right away like just stop and look at me. But one day that lady that Shusmoza was washing, and she wasn't by herself, she was with some other lady. And as soon as they see me walk in with my bag of clothes, they immediately stop talking, and they're just staring at me. Like, the whole time they're just staring at me. Right after that happens, actually, this was my first time seeing that lady in my entire life, and she was already hating on me. I'm pretty sure they had already spoken to her about me. But immediately as soon as she saw me, she turns to La Chismosa and she's like, let's go call everyone else before everyone comes and starts drying and washing, because you already know how these people are, they said. So I look at them and I'm just like, what the hell? And they're just dead ass staring at me, and they're like, come on, let's go, like, before more people come. And they go and start knocking for their little homegirls or whatever. I go back to the dryers, and my fucking clothes is on top of, like, we have like some folding table and it's on there. So they pretty much took all my clothes without even asking me for permission, and they decided to dry their clothes. And it's really annoying, because just imagine, like, what if you're still trying to dry and your dryer is already taken up. Thankfully I didn't have to dry anymore. That was the only load that I needed to dry, so I wasn't as annoyed. But if I would have still had to keep drying, I would have taken their stuff out and put my stuff. Like, the hell, they got me messed up. So yeah, she's weird. That was like the last thing that ever happened. Oh, no. So another day I was going to throw away the trash, and it's like, she really likes the bags that we have. I don't know, like, we get them from Costco, so I guess they're like heavy duty or really good bags. So she saw me going to throw away the trash, and she stops me and she's like, hey, I noticed that you have like some really good bags, like, can I have one? And I was gonna tell her no, and I'm like, yeah, sure, like, hold on, like, let me just go throw away the trash, and I'll give you one right now. And so I go throw away the trash, and I give her one, and then she looks at me like, is this it? And she's like, oh, can I have another one? And I was like, oh no, like, sorry, like, we don't have a lot, like, we barely even like, we're running out. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she starts walking away, and she's like, oh, well, when you guys buy more, like, could you let me know, and could you give me one? And I was like, what the hell? And I literally didn't even respond to her. I just like walked away and close the door. 2 days pass by and she sees me again. So she's coming from throwing away the trash and I'm exiting out like to go to work. And she's like, hey. And I wasn't gonna turn around, but she like ran towards me and she's like, hey, do you have another bag that I can have? And I was like, no, like sorry, like. And I was like, they sell some of those at Costco, like if you want you could get them there. And I feel like she got the hint after that because she never asked me for them again. Yeah, so that lady is just weird. Like, what makes you think that you could like talk all this smack about me and be weird and then expect for me to be nice to you? Like, no, what the hell? So yeah, that's her. She's probably done more stuff, but I just don't remember them right now, so I'm not gonna make anything up. So the next lady is actually not even lady. I'm gonna just talk about all of them together. So her and this other group of ladies, we call them las Shusmozas, because they'll literally be sitting at till 3 a.m. till 2 a.m. just talking about everybody, even about themselves, like their little homegirls. They're so fake. They talk about each other. These ladies, since I can remember, they've always been talking bad about me and my family and my friends, just everyone. They're always like, oh, why, because my sister was pregnant at a pretty young age, so they're always like talking about that. And then my brother was like starting to become cholo, so like they're always like, oh, this and that. Like they're just always speaking negative. Yeah, my sister's doing good, like she's already working and going to school to be a nurse, so the hell, even if she got pregnant at a young age, like she's doing good. So what the fuck, like you have no right to talk about her. So these people have like no right to talk about them. And there was a time where me and my friends were like hanging out, randomly like just saw them all looking at us, and we're like, what, like what happened? And then the lady, she's like, I don't remember what exactly she said, but she told us to like shut the fuck up. She's like, no one's even watching you guys, like you guys swear. And oh, they're always calling us little marijuanas and stuff. Yeah, they're freaking, they have a tweak that ass on. And then a lot of those ladies' kids be smoking weed too, so I don't even know why the fuck they think their little kids are angelitos when they're not. Like I said, these ladies are always talking till 3 a.m. at any fucking time. They're just being chismosas. And I guess like for some reason my name came out of their mouths, and they started talking about how I smoke weed and this and that like I'm a bad influence, a bad girl. And thankfully one of the ladies was like, honestly, you have no right to talk smack, because first of all, your daughter smokes weed too, and your son is doing who knows what. Like, we don't even know what the hell he's doing while she's over there still going to school, doing good, looking normal. Like, yeah, she smokes weed, but she's not bad. Like, she's not heavily into it. And so honestly, like, there's some good ladies from that group, but even then, those same ladies be talking smack, so I do not trust them. But so yeah, my name got brought up, and then they ended up telling, like, she ended up telling my sister that they were talking about me and stuff, and that she defended me. After that happened, my neighbor moved in, and she wasn't hanging out with them yet, and she was like pretty cool with us. Like, she would tell us good morning and like good afternoon and stuff. Once I saw her hanging out with that group, she just started mad dogging me. She, like, as soon as I would pass by, she would just look at me like asco, like just like in disgust, like just weird, like if she hated me pretty much. I just started like realizing like, oh, they're talking to her too now, like she's talking to las Shusmozas. I would just ignore her like the other ladies. So like honestly, like these ladies do not faze me unless they do something to me or like start making comments when I'm there. I'm not gonna just stay quiet and let them do that, so obviously I'm going to speak up. Lady, my neighbor, she was washing as well one day, and I went inside and she was already like finishing up. She was getting ready to take out her clothes, and I was barely walking in to start drying. And as soon as she sees me, she stops putting her clothes inside of her basket, inside of her laundry basket, and she just stares at me like a fucking weirdo. So I'm putting my clothes inside of the dryer, and I'm getting my drying sheets, and instead of her continuing to do what she was already doing, she stops and stares at me. And I'm just minding my business, putting my clothes in there. I randomly look at her, and she just looks at me like, and I'm like, okay. And as soon as I start walking away, she starts getting her clothes again, and she rushes right behind me, and she just like kind of like shoves me in a way, and she like just walks away, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm not about to argue with no 60-year-old. I'm pretty sure she's like 60. She already has white hair, like white short hair with glasses and stuff, all wrinkly. So I don't even know why the hell she's starting stuff with a 19-year-old. But anyways, I never saw her, like, I didn't see her for like a while anymore because I was working a lot at the time, until me and my boyfriend were drawing one time, and she was in there, and the same thing, she stops doing what she's doing and she just stops and stares at me and my boyfriend. She was like on the other side, and she saw that we were like going by her clothes because she was drying, I guess, and I accidentally opened her dryer because I didn't know like what, like her dryer had already stopped, so I didn't know there was clothes in there. So I open it and she looks at me like what the hell is she doing? And I close it right away. Like, so, well, some of the clothes fell, so I picked it up and I put it inside. And she looked at me like all mad. They're putting my clothes. I didn't say sorry because hell no, I ain't about to apologize to that weirdo. So I started putting my clothes inside of the other dryer, and she comes and immediately starts taking out her clothes. And she's just like rushing again. And then once we start walking out, she starts walking out. Like, I don't know if like she doesn't trust me with her clothes or something, but every single time I'm drying, she has to wait for me to walk out before she leaves. Like, she will not leave me alone there if her clothes is there, if you know what I'm saying. So that is actually all I could remember right now. But yeah, these people are just too much. So many things have happened. I am gonna try to record some of these people and post them online. I am gonna try to get proof of what they do so that you guys can see like what I mean, and like realize that I'm not just exaggerating or trying to get clout off of them, because I am not. I'm just trying to speak about like how difficult it is living in apartments. I know some of you guys probably have even way worse stories than I do, but yeah, that has been my experience living in these apartments, and hopefully we move out soon, because I don't know, I cannot live here any longer. Like, my whole family is just so fed up with them. Like, they're just so weird. Yeah, that is it for today's video. I know it was like all over the place. I'm sorry guys. Next time I am gonna try to take notes on it so that I could be more descriptive and like have a better timeline of what happened. But thank you guys for watching. That is it. Bye. Oh, and also don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and comment down below what you guys thought about it, whether you guys liked this video or didn't like this video. I honestly do not mind. I actually want to know what you guys think about it so that I could better my videos, or so that I could just, you know, keep doing what I'm doing.